Studio Series Bumblebee movie Soundwave is perhaps one of the best of the boys. I am very, very happy with this figure. I honestly didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and that includes the transformation and the alternate mode, because honestly, even though I really didn't like the Siege Soundwave and his alternate mode, I liked the figure, just not the alternate mode. This one I actually kind of like. Something about it. I feel like it actually does stuff. I don't know, my brain works weird. But we also got to talk about Ravage, because come on. You're not going to get Soundwave without Ravage, you're not going to get Ravage without Soundwave, so we'll just talk about them both, because why not? So, this figure's been a long time coming, man. It's kind of crazy to think that this movie came out December 2018. So, a little over 3 years it took for this thing to actually happen, which is crazy. But then again, a couple of those years were 2020 and 2021, so a couple other things are on our minds besides getting a Bumblebee movie Studio Series Soundwave. You know, kind of some crazy years. But honestly, man, the wait was so worth it. This thing's awesome. I love it, and I really recommend it if you're a fan of the Bumblebee movie, or if you're just a fan of Soundwave. This is an awesome Soundwave figure. Honestly, one of the best retail release Soundwaves that they've released in a while. Because, unfortunately, the Netflix one was a Walmart exclusive. So, awesome figure. Let's just talk about Ravage first, because, you know, because he's the tiny boy. So I really do feel like this set is heavily inspired by the 3-0 Bumblebee Soundwave set. Because, I mean, that was amazing, and this is also equally as amazing. But I also feel like the engineering's pretty similar in some regards. Obviously, given the size differences of these figures, I won't be able to show the 3-0 one here. But I did do a review on that if you want to check that out. And I will point out things that I find similar. Yeah, this Ravage is very nicely detailed. I love the Laserbeak-esque colors to kind of make him pop more on screen. I think that was actually a really good choice. Because just black would be a little boring, and having him in Laserbeak's colors kind of has some uniformity to the gang, you know? Have Laserbeak, Ravage, and Frenzy. And then Rumble, he'll just be off to the side because Rumble's blue! But really cool figure. The articulation is not too bad. Head moves up and down. Got a little jaw articulation, which honestly, man, that looks really good. Oh man, that's really nice for how tiny it is. Hips are on ball joints. You do have, like, I guess that's an elbow or knee. I'm going to say elbow. And then his paw is on a hinge. And then his back legs. It's so weird. Like, are these arms or legs? Man, it's so weird. Some animals, they're kind of just their front legs, but others, it's their arms. Ah, man. Anyways, the back also on ball joints. These knees can bend forward and back, and then he's got his little leg joint right there, and then his toe joint right there, and his tail mostly just moves down, but it does move up just a little bit depending on how you have it. This weapon plugs on, so you can rotate that if you want, and then his hip cannons also plug on, so that's nice. I do wish they were things that you didn't have to plug off and on to transform him, but it's not that big of a deal. Speaking of transforming him, let's just go ahead and do that. So I don't really think these have nice storage. I looked, I couldn't really find anything. This transformation is really kind of not that great. I feel like it's just not complete, if that makes any sense. It's like you untap that. This is very similar to the 3-0 one. Because the 3-0 Ravage actually does transform to fit in his chest. How that hip moves is very similar, and how that whole thing goes. But the legs, these are not similar at all. Basically, you have to follow these tabs. There's that tab there and that hole there. There's a tab in the foot that shows you that tab's in pretty much right there. Honestly, the transformation is a major shortcoming of this figure because you're kind of just struggling most of the time to try to get all the legs lined up. And I feel like the 3-0 one did this a little better. I feel like they should have taken a little bit more note from the 3-0. Just a little bit more on how they did the legs, because I feel like they were more compact. Because once you get them into the cube mode, there's a little bit of like hangy-dangly. A little bit of hangy-dangly, if that makes any sense. And that makes getting him in his chest kind of difficult. You're kind of struggling. A little hangy-dangly right there. And it kind of doesn't want to fully close either because of the hangy-dangly. But you can do it. He's in there. Ravage is in there. But like I said, unfortunately, I think like the 301, can't really find any real place to store the weapons. So unfortunately, Ravage is in there, just, you know, weaponless. But you can see, though, because of that hangy-dangly, it's not even fully attached. Because you can see how that paw right there is just dangling just a little bit too much. And this is the only way to do it. That's the only way the tabs line up, so I don't really know what they were thinking with that. Definitely could have been done better. And if you push too hard, you're actually going to push his back out. So you have to be careful with that, too. But hey, honestly, that's a really good way to get him out. You can push his back out and then push him through, so that's good. But then he just has an empty chasm right through him. So yeah, I really do like you can put Ravage inside, but still, it's not as nice as it could be, in my opinion. As you can see, putting him in actually is untabbing that back. It's definitely a bit of a struggle. But that's enough of Ravage. We've talked about all of him. Now it's Soundwave time. And this Soundwave, oh my gosh. Zoomed in a little too close there, but that's okay. Ooh, look at that detail. That head is perfect. That is amazing. Oh, wow. I love this Soundwave design. This is one of my favorite Soundwave designs. I was really happy to get it in 3.0 form, but I'm also very happy to get it in traditional Transformers Voyager class scaling. It's just super nice. All the gold, the red trimming on the arms there. Even the crotch looks nice, and the little silvery details. One thing I really like are the details on the legs, because not only did they get it on the front, but they also got it on the back. And one thing, too, he's not a very hollow figure. You can see his arms are pretty much totally solid. One of the main hollow bits are the inside of his thighs, which, kind of unsightly if you pose him like that, but from the front, you know, looks perfectly fine. Not really a problem there. The feet. They're feet. I don't know what else to say on that. They're very nice feet. I also like the elbows. A very odd statement, but I like the elbows. I think the elbows look nice. So, his articulation and his posability is pretty interesting. Starting with the accessories, you can't actually move this up and down. Oh no, I forgot an accessory! Where is that? It was for Ravage. Ravage came with... I'll just show a picture because it's not that important. I must have left it in the other room. He came with a piece to make this gun look more like his G1 handgun. It's not in the movie. It's not from the movie. It's just something they included to bulk out Ravage's, you know, value. I forgot it. You can put it on the bottom of Ravage and it looks inappropriate. Or you can plug it right there. It's, you know, it's whatever. You saw the picture. You saw the picture. Yeah, you know, you can move this, get some hingy action. You can also flip it and make it a handheld weapon if you do want to put that Ravage accessory right there. He also comes with his hand blaster, which is nice. I dig that. That's cool. Just get that right back on his back there. His head's pretty much on a ball joint. His shoulders are interesting, especially his shoulder pads, because his shoulders are very attached to the shoulder pads. You can see they move pretty independently of them, but also for the transformation, the shoulder pads hinge like that. So you can actually have his arm moving forward and have the shoulder pad kind of like move with it like that, instead of doing it like that. So that's an interesting little alternative if you want. Bicep swivel. He's got some pretty decent double jointed elbows. I dig that. I don't think he has swivel at the wrist. He does not. That would have been nice. He does have swivel at the waist, but unfortunately, kind of similar to the 301, the crotch piece is attached where I really wouldn't want it to be. So you do have to move that up to even rotate it, and then it starts looking awkward the more you go. So that's kind of a letdown. And unlike the 301, it doesn't have a split to the skirt. So to move the leg up, you have to move it all, and that looks pretty gnarly, honestly. I'm not a very big fan of that. You know, he's got articulation, though, elsewhere. One thing I do dig, though, and this is kind of for transformation, but you can actually extend this to make his knee look more enclosed. I really dig that. Just adds a little bit of extra depth to it, I guess. Then ankle, doesn't really move up, but it does move down. And you do have some really nice ankle tilt. So you can actually get him pretty crazy if you want. You can get him looking pretty crazy. I wouldn't recommend, but you can do that. So, let's talk about his transformation, because that's interesting. That's something he does because he's a transformer. So, take these off. Let's go ahead and get Ravage out of there, because he's clogging our clogging our space. You can see he is a hollow shell. It's actually kind of funny looking. It's almost like he got totally blasted by Optimus or something. So, let's do this. I'm going to do it horribly and out of order because you know how I do things. Heck, I totally forgot an accessory and I had to show a picture. You know how it is. Normally, I would just get up and get it. But if you know my current situation, one of my legs is in a brace right now, so I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It doesn't matter. You think it matters, but no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Rotate that head. Get that head rotated. Oh, he does have light piping. How well does... Oh, it won't work because they painted it. It's so weird when they do that. When they give a figure light piping, but you can't even use it. So this is where those shoulders, the shoulder pads come into play. Because if I'm not even doing it in the right direction, I totally popped one off. Nice. They do pop off, so be wary of that. So you get those shoulders like this. And then those pieces where it's like two angles instead of just the one are used to cover his head. So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I dig it. Basically, he's going to turn upside down for the transformation, so you can already see how this is looking. His legs, I don't think they actually... I don't think you use the waist rotation, but you do rotate his back kibble twice, which is kind of interesting. Definitely some excessive engineering, but I definitely don't mind it. And then, I always forget about this, he has these panels too in his legs, which really help him out. So you can get that. And then you really have to worry about the angle. It's all about the angle right here. You have to have the arm in the perfect angle to tab into that slot. Then you're going to need the foot in the perfect angle to tab into his arm. But we're almost there. It's a pretty simple transformation. You just do things, man. That's what robots are all about. You just do things. Oh, I love this guy. It didn't need to transform. It didn't need to do this. Honestly, it didn't need to do it at all. But it is a mainline Transformers figure, man. They do actually kind of have to do this because that's the whole point of the toy. They have to transform. 3.0, though, they're not worried about that. They're not a toy line. So get that arm right there. And then this is the fun part. Get the front kind of squeezed together. The legs kind of are tilted inward, too. So you have to keep that in mind. Have the little claws forward. Then his feet, they got a hole. They're supposed to line up to the arm. I think there we go. Yep, got it. But in the process, I undid the front. But it's all good, man. But it's all good. If you know what that's from, I'm so sorry. Jeez, no! I did this so perfectly before. Just get right there. Just do it. Just do it for me, dude. Just do it. Just do it. Just get there. Stay in. Just do it. There we go. I said just do it. Are we doing it? We're not doing it. I said just do it. I said just do it. Just go. Just do it, man. Just do it. All you gotta do is do it. There we go. We did it. We did it. Boom. There we go. We did it. We did it. There's Soundwave in his mode. So it's very flat. It's very flat. But basically, how I see it, it's kind of like a hovercraft of sorts. And I kind of dig it. I kind of wish it had more of a cover in the front. Oh, no, the front's not even... Oh, no, and the legs came undone. Ah, geez Louise. It's one of those. It's kind of one of those. You tab one thing in and other things come untabbed, then you tab it back in, then they come untabbed again. But then again, we're not really going to be transforming this guy. Who really cares? But we'll still talk about it briefly, because, you know, it's a mode. I do appreciate the dedicated pieces to the mode, right down the middle, but that's basically it. You can't attach weapons, of course. You can just get that right on his arm. You can get this right on his arm, and then there you go. He's got some weapon. He can do a weapon thing. It's kind of goofy. I see why people don't like it at all. I understand. It's not important to the experience of this figure. It's not. But still, I dig it. I don't know, something about the aesthetic of it. I just wish it had a little bit more going on. Honestly, if I have any complaint. Like, I do kind of wish it had some sort of cover right here. I do like the front spikes, though. They actually remind me of War for Cybertron Soundwave. But, I mean, yeah, there we go. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Ooh, that was a burp. My bad. For this Soundwave boy. Do I recommend it? Heck yeah, I do. It's super cool, man. It's super cool. It's super fun. It's Soundwave. And he is my favorite. He is my best boy. And Bumblebee Movie Soundwave is one of the best iterations of the best boy. I mean, how couldn't you love it? It does have some issues getting it back because of the hands, but, you know, it's all good. So yeah, there we go. I'll just do the outro while I'm getting it back in robot mode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons of Patreon. Thank you all so much for the continued support. I really appreciate it, guys. Definitely want to... I was thinking I want to give you guys a shout out at the start, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a little intro. I'm still going to do the verbal shout at the you know, the back of the video, but I think I want to have a little, like, just a little intro, like 1 second that just shows your names. I think that's what I'll do. Little tune, little intro at the start, because I need to do more for you guys, and I think that would be a good way to do it. Ooh, got to make sure you flip that. I really do like this, how all this just flips and folds. It really just makes it more complete. But yeah, man, definitely recommend this guy. We just need a proper shockwave, because for whatever reason, even though this line started under the pretense of every figure is going to be in scale, they made Shockwave the size of Ravage. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.